The call came at 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday, the kind of ordinary moment that becomes extraordinary when everything changes. Marcus Henderson's phone vibrated against the metal desk in the warehouse break room, and when he saw his daughter's school flash across the screen, his heart dropped into his stomach. In 8 years of single fatherhood, he'd learned that midday calls from Oakwood Elementary only meant one thing: something was wrong with Emma. Mr. Henderson. The school nurse's voice was strained, professional but urgent. Emma's temperature is 104 degrees. She's asking for you. You need to come right away. Marcus felt the familiar weight of impossible choices crushing down on his chest. His daughter needed him. She always needed him, and he would move mountains to be there. But standing 15 feet away, clipboard in hand and disappointment already forming in his eyes, was his supervisor Dale Kramer, a man who measured a worker's worth in productivity metrics and viewed compassion as a weakness the company couldn't afford. "I'll be there in 20 minutes, Marcus whispered into the phone, already knowing what this decision would cost him. This was Marcus's worst fear, the nightmare that woke him at 3 a.m. in a cold sweat, the impossible choice between being the father Emma deserved and keeping the job that allowed him to be her father at all. 3 years ago, when Emma's mother had walked out without a backward glance, Marcus had made a vow. His little girl would never feel abandoned again. She would know that someone would always show up for her, always choose her, always put her first. But keeping that promise in a world that didn't care about single fathers was like trying to hold water in his bare hands. "Henderson, that's your third absence request this month." Dale's voice cut through the break room's fluorescent buzz. "You know we're already short-staffed. The holiday shipment deadline is Friday." Marcus stood up, his 6-foot frame somehow feeling small. "My daughter's sick. She has a fever of 104. I have to go." Dale's expression didn't change. He'd perfected the art of corporate indifference, the ability to look at a human being and see only a labor resource. "You signed the attendance policy, same as everyone else. Another unauthorized absence and we'll have to let you go. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is." The words hung in the stale air like a verdict. Marcus thought about Emma's worried brown eyes, identical to his own. He thought about the stack of medical bills on his kitchen counter, the rent due in a week, the electricity that had already been shut off once this year. He thought about how Emma still slept with the stuffed elephant he'd given her on her first birthday, how she wrote him notes that said, "Best daddy in the world," and left them in his lunch bag. The choice had already been made before Dale finished his sentence. "I understand," Marcus said quietly, grabbing his jacket. "But I'm going to my daughter." He walked out of that warehouse expecting never to return, each step feeling like he was walking off a cliff. In the parking lot, his hands shook as he started his battered Honda Civic. He'd been so careful, so strategic about managing his time and Emma's needs. He'd worked double shifts to build up goodwill, never complained, volunteered for the worst assignments. But in the end, it didn't matter. The system wasn't built for people like him, parents who didn't have a safety net, who were one bad day away from losing everything. Emma was waiting in the nurse's office, small and feverish, her blonde hair plastered to her forehead. When she saw him, relief flooded her face. "Daddy came," she whispered, and Marcus felt his heart crack open. She'd been worried he wouldn't. Even at 8 years old, she understood that his presence was never guaranteed, that the world demanded he choose between her and survival. "Daddy always comes," he said, scooping her into his arms. "Always, baby. Nothing is more important than you." He took her to the emergency room, where they waited for 3 hours to learn she had influenza and needed rest, fluids, and children's Tylenol, a $1,200 lesson in what he already knew. He took her home, made her soup, and watched cartoons while she dozed against his shoulder, her small body radiating heat even through the fever reducer. And when she finally fell into a deep sleep in her own bed, Marcus sat at the kitchen table and stared at his phone, wondering how he would explain to an 8-year-old that choosing her meant they might lose their apartment. The next morning, Marcus's phone rang at 6:15 a.m. He almost didn't answer, assuming it was an automated call about the medical bill he couldn't pay. But something made him pick up. "Marcus, this is Tom Reeves from the warehouse. I work third shift. We've never officially met, but I've seen you around." Marcus frowned, confused. "Okay. Listen, I heard what happened yesterday." Dale's version of events spread through the crew pretty fast. Tom paused. "That was real courage, man. What you did for your daughter. Marcus felt his throat tighten. I don't feel very courageous. I just lost my job. That's the thing, Tom said. When the third shift crew heard what went down, we talked about it. All of us. Marcus, there are 12 guys on this shift. 8 of us are parents. We've all been where you are, stuck between our kids and our paychecks. And we're tired of watching good people get crushed by a system that treats us like we're disposable. I don't understand, Marcus said. We're walking out, Tom stated simply. All of us. We told management this morning, either you get your job back with a formal apology, or they can try to meet their deadline without a third shift crew. We also drafted a petition for family medical leave policies. Got signatures from 70% of the warehouse staff overnight. Marcus couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. Tom continued, you stood up for what mattered. Now we're standing up for you. Management's calling an emergency meeting at noon. They want you there. At that meeting, Marcus sat across from Dale and the regional manager, feeling like he was in a dream. The regional manager, a woman named Patricia Chen, looked uncomfortable in a way that suggested genuine shame. Mr. Henderson, we owe you an apology, she said. Your situation has highlighted serious gaps in our company policies. We're implementing immediate changes to our family leave protocols, and we'd like to offer you your position back, with back pay for yesterday and a promotion to team lead. Dale looked like he'd swallowed glass, but he nodded stiffly. Marcus thought about all those other parents at the warehouse, the ones who'd chosen differently because they couldn't afford not to. He thought about Tom Reeves risking his own job for a stranger. He thought about Emma and the world she would inherit. I'll come back, Marcus said. But only if the new policies apply to everyone, and only if there's accountability when supervisors violate them. Patricia Chen extended her hand. Agreed. That evening, Marcus told Emma about what happened while they ate grilled cheese sandwiches at their small kitchen table. She listened with wide eyes, trying to understand adult concepts like solidarity and justice. So people helped us? She asked. People we don't even know. Yes, baby, Marcus said, feeling emotion well up in his chest. Because kindness is contagious. When people see someone doing the right thing, even when it's hard, it reminds them to do the right thing too. Emma was quiet for a moment, then smiled. You're still the best daddy in the world. Marcus pulled her close, breathing in the scent of her strawberry shampoo, feeling the steady beat of her healthy heart. He'd faced his worst fear and discovered something unexpected on the other side, that he wasn't alone. That humanity, at its core, still understood what truly mattered. That sometimes, when you're brave enough to stand up for love, others will stand up with you. In a world that often felt cold and indifferent, 12 warehouse workers had reminded Marcus Henderson of a simple truth. We're all in this together, and the choice to care for each other is the choice that makes us human.